Pivot tables also allow you to graph the reports and the data very easily. For example, here we've got a simple report. You'll see we've pulled through the bill and we've grouped it in groups of 5. We have a total per the bill, and at the moment we're doing all types and all destination networks. To get it into a graph, you simply click anywhere in the pivot table. You go to the pivot table ribbon, and you'll see under options there's something called pivot chart. When I click pivot chart, all it asks is what type of chart do you want. So for now, let's just choose a column chart, and when I say OK, you'll notice it draws a chart. With charts and a pivot table, it's important to understand that these two are linked. So whatever you do to one will happen to the other. So for example, if I come to my pivot table, just watch what happens to the chart, and I change my destination network rather to be, for example, Vodacom. Watch the chart, I say OK. Notice that the chart has changed as well. Let's change it again to, let's change to cell C, say OK, and again you'll see it changes. So these two are linked completely. If you click on the chart, you'll see there's a new listing here. If you want, you can change at this level. And again, in this case we're changing the chart, but watch what happens to the pivot table. Notice that the pivot table has changed as well. Besides that, charting is exactly the same as normal graphs and charts in Excel, as shown in our other charting course. You can highlight any one of the aspects of a chart and format it if you want. You can change the chart types. Just be aware when you click on the chart, you have this new item, but also in the ribbon, there's a new tab called Pivot Chart Tools. This is pretty similar to the charting ribbon available in normal charts, but just note that the switch row and column button is not operational. And there's a good reason for it, and it's important to understand. Occasionally you may draw up a pivot table and perhaps you prefer it to go that way. However, when you chart it, it maybe doesn't look as nice as it should. So you need to realize that occasionally you're going to have to change the pivot table in such a way that maybe it doesn't look nice as a report, but it looks better as a graph.